Alright, what's going on, guys? Gonzo here. So I'm having a problem today with my radiator. So I got a new radiator, as you guys could tell. Koyo Rod, highly recommend the radiator. But whenever you're doing your cooling system, a lot of things tend to, or not a lot of things, but things could go bad. So right now my thermostat is bad. It's not opening up my fans. Excuse my neighbor singing in the back, going off. But so my radiator fans aren't going off. So what I have to do is, I'm assuming it's my thermostat. One reason is obviously my radiator fans aren't turning on, and the other one is that it's building a lot of pressure. So yesterday I had this hose, the upper radiator hose, clamped down, and it just built enough pressure for it to literally pop off. Luckily the hose didn't rip, so it's a good thing for all those AutoZone hoses, but it didn't rip. So I'm assuming that's what it is. I can't really think of anything else. It should be the thermostat housing. So a couple things that you guys want to do. I have a bigger radiator, but what I found to be a little bit easier is to remove the faster fan. So this is the slow fan, so whenever you turn your AC on, and this is a faster fan, I found it to be a little bit easier because you can kind of work from the top whenever you can't, because it's kind of like a weird angle, like it's just a Subaru, you know. So I found it easier to remove this fan. It's really easy. It's 2 bolts, and then you just have to like unclip the clip, which is really, it's actually one of the easier clips to do. You just press down on this. I'm sorry I didn't really get to record that part, but I know a lot of people will get mad about that, but it's really self-explanatory. All you're really gonna need is just a 10 mil and a wrench. It's basically it. Everything's a 10 mil basically on this car. On this car, basically everything's either a 10 mil or a 12 mil. So we're kind of lucky with that. But once you get there, you're gonna get to the radiator housing, or not the radiator housing, the thermostat housing. Show you guys. So that's what the housing looks like. So it's this thing right here. I'm currently working on getting the bolt off. So there's one right here where I'm pointing at, and the other one is up here, semi-loose. And then once you get it off, I'll show you guys. So let me get to it real quick. Alright, so we got the thermostat housing off, and like, look at how bad this is. So before you guys go ahead and say like, oh, it's head gasket failure, it actually was by the previous owner, and they didn't do anything to clean the whole system out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean this out with like a little wire mesh, a little wire brush or whatever. Clean that out, and then I'm gonna run a hose through my cooling system and let the car run, so it like cleans everything out, and flush it. And like just do pretty much a whole flush, because it's fucking disgusting. Like, it's so bad. So I got new radiator hoses and stuff, but this is what it'll look like. I'm gonna go right now to AutoZone and pick up a new gasket, because for some reason Subaru didn't give me a gasket with this one. I would recommend you go with the OEM Subaru one, but you could also go like Mishimoto. I mean, I think that's one of the good things that Mishimoto has is the radiator, or I keep saying radiator, the thermostats. I think theirs open up a little bit cooler. So I mean, if you really care about that, unless you're not like tracking your car and things, doesn't really fucking matter. So I'll just go with OEM. OEM is probably the best thing you could always do. But like I said, it's not super hard. It's just 210 mil bolts, and coolant will leak out, so just be aware, because I made a whole fucking mess, and my dad's gonna probably kill me. But yeah, make sure you save your coolant, especially if you just used it, because like I said, I did my whole radiator yesterday and then that happened. So I'm saving my old coolant just so I don't have to buy a new one. And yeah, so I'll see you guys after I go to AutoZone and pick up a new one. All right, so we're back. I got the new thermostat gasket, as you could tell. Nice. This I'm at AutoZone. So you guys, once you swap them out, obviously you want to get a new gasket. Like, look at how worn out this one. I was gonna just use this one, but my neighbor said it's best to get a new one, which of course, look at how worn out it is. And then look at this one, super nice, good fitment on it. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on. One of the major things you guys want to do is put this little ball right here. Y'all make it point straight up. So if you're looking at the car, it'll go like this. So you want to do it like that, and that's a thumbnail right there. But you want to make sure that goes up. I honestly couldn't tell you guys why, but it goes up like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get under the car and put this on. Like I said, facing upward. All right, so I got the thermostat in. So you guys could see right there. You can see it's facing upward. Don't make it. It doesn't have to necessarily be perfect, but as best as you can get it up in there. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this out, and then I'm gonna do a full coolant flush once I'm done. Well, obviously I got my coolant out, but just flush the whole system just to make sure everything's nice and clean, because some of these lines are beyond dirty. Like if I open up the top, you guys could see it's gunky in there. So also, if you guys do own a 2002 WRX, show you guys. So if you guys own a 2002 WRX, this top, the high point, they painted the top black, but they also painted the inside of the top black, so it ends up corroding. So that you definitely want to try to get a new one. It's definitely on my bucket list. So it like ends up peeling, and then you get that shit in your paint. So if you do go and do a coolant flush and you see like all that little black shit in there, it's your paint. So just be sure, don't like freak out once you see that. But we're gonna go ahead and clean this out, so see you guys in a bit. I went ahead and cleaned out as best as I could. I think I got mostly everything out. I used one of these metal brushes. I'm gonna keep that with me now, not reuse that on a dishes. That'd be disgusting. But clean that out. Now we're just gonna go ahead and put this back on. You don't need a gasket, because that gasket blocks. That gasket that I bought is for that. So you know, just be sure that this is kind of a clean surface, and we'll go ahead and put this back on. Do another time lapse for you guys real quick. Okay, so right now at this point, I just have the thermostat housing kind of just in there. It's not really like bolted in. I don't really know the specs you're supposed to have it in, but it should just be tight. Obviously more than hand tight. So we're gonna use this socket and this ratchet to do the job. So I'm just gonna do it as tight, not super tight. You don't want to strip the bolts, but tight enough. So that's what we'll do. Get down here. Let's see. You remember which one? I always forget which one is tightening and which one is loosening. Okay. So we want to tighten. Team tighten. I am by all means not a mechanic, so if you guys see something, you know, that I should have done different, be sure to call me out. You know, any fucking anything you guys say really just helps. I can't think of the word, but really any advice, any feedback, whether positive or negative, helps me out. I'm just doing this throughout the processes. The first car like I've actually worked on by myself, so yeah. Be sure that's on there. Alright, now this top one you could really just do from the top. If you have a long if you have an extension, really just best to do from the top. So I'm gonna set you guys right here. You guys can see what's up. You just have to find where it's at. Found it. Just hand tighten it as best as you could, and then just go from there. Makes it easier. It's gonna make your hands cramp up, but you got it. Also, one thing I did forget to mention is drain your coolant prior. I don't know if I mentioned it, but you want to drain your coolant. Just your best bet, that way you don't get shit everywhere. But yep. Okay. I'm hand tightening this as best as I can. I don't know if that's really the best spot, but shit. Back here. So, oh shit, we're gonna hand tighten this, or it's already hand tightened. So we're going in with the ratchet because we love ratchets. So now your thermostat's in, your housing is in. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm just gonna take off this hose that I have right here. It's gonna probably leak coolant. So I'm gonna have my bucket ready.